question that has been raised many times by non-MD mullahs, which was very related to taking money of people, that Hazrat Masih Maud took the money for 50 books, but he wrote 5 books, and he did not return the money. And the mullahs give an example of if someone gives you 50 rupees, but you give them 5 rupees back, what happens to the 45 rupees? And the mullahs also say that you people answer back by saying, giving the namaz example. Yeah, but then if you look at the money perspective, then 45 rupees of a difference is quite a lot. So if you can answer this question.
Yeah, that's a very good question, and probably majority of you know the answer to this. When the Prophet, you don't know, right? When the Prophet ﷺ wrote Brahin Ahmadiyya, alright, and he promised that he will publish 50 volumes, one after the other, of this book. After writing 4 books, 4 volumes of Brahin Ahmadiyya, Hazrat Masih announced that earlier there was a design, there was a scheme in my mind for which I had said that I will publish 50 volumes of Brahin Ahmadiyya. And until that time he had written, this is recorded by Hazrat Maulana Yaqub Ali Irfani also, that when he was announcing that 50 volumes would be published, already he had written 2,400 and something, full-scale size of papers for 50 volumes. So he was ready to fulfill his promise. But he said, now Allah has commanded me that you follow my designs. You leave away your own designs and schemes and follow whatever I am asking you to do. And he also announced this, remember please, he said, though I had promised, and there are just a few people who have given me the money for these 50 volumes, just a few. Most of them, they did not follow, literally. Very few people came forward with their financial sacrifices. He said, since I have changed my scheme under the command of Allah Ta'ala, so I announced that whoever wants to get back his money, he should come to me, he should write a letter to me, and I'll return his money. The only condition is, I have already sent you by post these 4 volumes. You can return those volumes to me if you are not satisfied, whatever I am asking you to do. So you can get your money. He said, after that, that those people who asked for money, I returned their money. Whatever they had paid, I returned their money to them. Some people said, we don't want money, we believe in you. Whatever you are doing it for the sake of Islam. All these publications are for the propagation of Islam, so we don't want money at all. The objection is being raised for those people who had never contributed a single penny. What right they had? What did the Prophet Messiah, now this remember also? Instead of naming all his books as Brahin Ahmadiyya, Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7, Volume 8, he published 86 books under the design of Allah Ta'ala. He could name them Brahin Ahmadiyya and fulfill his promise easily. See? But he was doing everything now under the command of Allah Ta'ala. He is writing 86 books, not only 50. And whoever asked for the money, he returned it to them. Whoever said keep it for the publication of these books, future books and so for the propagation of Islam, he kept that money. So those people who gave the money and asked to keep it, they never ever raised any allegation against the Prophet Messiah. They never objected to the Prophet Messiah against this deceit. So this you should remember, that those who had given the money, they had only the right to raise any objection. But now, their great-great-great-grandchildren, what right they have to raise any objection against this? Instead of 50, he published 86 books. when he promised that I'll publish 50 volumes, almost the material for 50 volumes was ready there. I have written a book, if Allah wills, whenever it is published, that is about the history of Ahmadiyyat in Britain. There are about 500 pages of it, and I have given all the detail of this thing also, that the material was ready, and easily the Prophet Messiah could fulfill, but under the command of Allah Ta'ala he changed. Okay?
Yeah, but then some of the non-Ahmadi mullahs say that Mirza Sahib said that, or the difference between 5 and 50 is 0.
That is, no, first of all, I have personally overlooked it.
Okay.
They say, well, the difference is that when Allah Ta'ala commanded the Holy Prophet ﷺ that your followers should observe 50 prayers, and he came back from this heavenly journey, and he met Hazrat Musa ﷺ, he said, your Ummah will not be able to follow it. Go back to Allah Ta'ala. You know, everybody knows the incident. So by and by, these prayers, 50 prayers were reduced to 5. And Allah Ta'ala said there, and this is the wording of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, that although these are 55 prayers, but as one virtue, one neki, one righteous act, one good act is rewarded 10 times. So though these are 5 prayers, but the reward would be multiplied to 50 prayers. So the Prophet ﷺ is just trying to satisfy people that this is how Allah's promise was fulfilled. That although we are saying 5 prayers, but the reward for 5 prayers is of 50 prayers. But otherwise, whatever he has written, more than 50 books he has published. If he had published only 4 volumes, and after that he had not printed or published a single book, then of course allegation could be raised. If he had not returned the money to the people who had paid in advance, he could be blamed. If the people who had offered the money and given some donations, they had not said that you can keep this money for the propagation of Islam and for future publication of books, then of course he could be blamed. If there are all these things, and he is publishing 86 books, and apart from this there are 10 volumes of Malfuzat, there are 3 volumes of handbills, etc. So all these things, and thousands of letters, which he wrote to his disciples and followers. They are also published in book form. So all these things, some huge treasure which the Prophet ﷺ has presented, and that was published. So no allegation at all, no ground at all. This is why this sort of allegations, during the lifetime of the Prophet Messiah, hardly anybody raised this objection. In 1930s, Radis, they started raising this sort of objections. Otherwise, earlier, during the lifetime of the Khalifa Awwal or the Prophet Messiah, because Prophet Messiah knew that Mr. So-and-so had given me 10 rupees, and I had asked him to get back this money if you don't believe in me. And he said, all right, send this money back to me, and I sent it to him. And Mr. So-and-so said, keep it please, I don't want it. That is for the publication of Islam, for the publication of literature, propagation of Islam. So keep it. He knew that he is written to me, and this is why I am keeping this money. So nobody could raise any objection at all.